just make it better. So I've recognized how to do that. And I don't think, at least I don't have any ego issues, because I work with people that I really trust and rely on and you know, cherish, and I value their opinions. I think they help make the books a lot better.
Okay. Any more questions from the floor? Over here.
Hi, my name is Aya. First of all, I would like to recommend Alex Pettyfer for Daniel. You know who he is.
Thank you. Yes,
he's better looking than you.
Okay, I'm gonna throw that out.
So, since vampires are all the rage these days, why angels? Why not talk about demons? Why angel? I mean, don't you get a lot of criticisms from the church?
I have yet to get any kind of criticism from the church, and you know, I don't. It's definitely not the point of my books to sort of be provocative and make anyone ban them, or you know, to write something that would be considered, I don't know, blasphemous. But what I am trying to do is just tell the best story that I can, and that is often a story that I think would provoke people to ask a lot of questions about faith, and not necessarily religion, but sort of theology and the narratives of what we think of as about angels. I'm interested in all the questions that it raises. I'm not trying to go too far in any one direction, but I'll take what happens, you know, as I write the books that I want to write. We'll see what happens.
Okay, again, please, Alex Pettyfer.
Okay.
Maybe one more?
Hi, my name is Claudine. I'm just wondering why you named her Luce.
I named her Luce because Luce, for one thing, there's a singer-songwriter that I really like in the States called Lucinda Williams. If you haven't heard her music, you should. She's who Luce's parents named her after. But another part of the name Lucinda is that it means light. And Luce, though she starts out in Fall in a place of sort of darkness, she is, over the course of the series, moving towards the light. And I liked the sort of hope that it gave for her character, and the arc that it suggested about her journey.
Do you like that name? Yeah, I like the name Luce. I thought it was because it was supposed to mean like light or something in Spanish. Like, okay. Maybe one last one. Yes. From the back.
Hi, I'm curious, what were your two books about, the ones that you said were rejected? And since you're a famous author now, maybe you can like have them released now?
Well, they should definitely not be released. The first book was a story about 4 people who meet in an apartment fire, and how their lives change from meeting each other one night when their building burns down. And the other story is it's a love story between it's kind of like a Lolita story told from Lolita's point of view. But that one I'm still working on. The other one, I think I was 19 when I was writing it, and I think it needs to stay locked up in a drawer for the rest of its life.
This Lolita story is also for young adults?
Yeah, it is. Maybe that's its problem.
Yeah, that one I'd like to see, a Lolita story for young adults. Are you the kind of author who doesn't mind that your books are being segmented as for young adults? Because there are some authors who, don't categorize my book. You don't mind being called a young adult author?
Well, especially not now. I mean, I think it's a really thrilling time to be writing in that genre. There's so many other incredible books that are being published as young adults. To me, I mean, before I was writing for these books, I was working as an editor at a young adult publishing house. So I'm really happy and in a great place with young adult literature. I think it's fantastic.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Our friends from Power Books say yes.
Hi, Lauren. My name is Dan. I just want to say your books are amazing. And I want to know, as an aspiring writer, what are your advice, do's and don'ts, for writing a book? Because as the writer, we want to publish a book in the future.
Well, I think that if you're already sort of on the path of writing and you're coming up with stories on your own, the best advice that I can give to anybody who's starting out is to finish, because it's very easy, I think, to get inspired and begin a story and write 3 pages and have fun with a bit of dialogue, and then the phone rings, or you stop feeling as inspired, and it gets hard, and you hit a moment of writer's block. And I think writer's block causes so many people to quit what they're doing. When I was finishing this house fire, the apartment fire book I was just talking about, by the time I was finished with it, or almost finished with it, I knew it wasn't going to be that great. I knew that I had high hopes for it, and it didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to, and I already had a better idea for my next book, and I told a friend of mine who was older and a writer, I said, I think I'm just going to give up on this one. I'm almost done. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to start the next book. And she looked at me and she gave me this is the best advice I've ever gotten. I didn't realize it at the time. She said, don't finish your first book just so that you know that you can do it. And I did, and I spent another week or 2 writing that last chapter, and I didn't think about it. I just went on and I started the next book. But when I got to the end of the next book, it was the same thing. And I said, this book's stupid. I'm just going to quit. I'm going to move on to the next book. But then I remembered what Mo had told me 5 years earlier, and just finish it. I can do this. I know how to. I've already done this. And so then that was the second book. The third book was Fallen. And by the time I wrote Fallen, it was so easy for me to get through those moments where it was hard, because I had done it. I had practiced on those other books, and I was able to finish it. And you can always go back and make it better. I think persevering through the hard stuff is the most important step that a starting out writer has to learn how to do. And don't give up. All it takes is one person to say yes to your books, and it changes your life.
Lauren, in between Luz, did Daniel ever love someone else, like maybe Shelby?
There is a moment in Torment where we fear that maybe Daniel has had other love with Shelby, and opens up the question with whoever else, we don't know. I have an answer to what's going on with Daniel and Shelby that will be released eventually. I've written a short story about it that will be made available at some point in the future, but I won't tell you now.
That short story is going to be released how? As a pamphlet?
I think for now it's first it will be electronic.
All right.
And then eventually I'm doing about 6 deleted chapters after every book, and so I think they're being released electronically for now, and then maybe at the end there'll be a big anthology of all of them.
Okay. This is getting more interesting. Okay, we're done with our questions now. I'm sorry for those who will have to skip questions for, because we have to proceed to the next part, which is, because there are a lot of you, so we'll have to start with the book signing already. However, okay, before you start moving, we'll just have to